Eu tinha intenção de fazer live mais tarde, mas a Blizzard resolveu colocar uma novidade pequenininha aí. Já tem algumas semanas que eu tô falando sobre possivelmente ter a atualização falando do patch 11.2. Chegou hoje. Então, eu sei que chama Fantasmas de Karesh aqui. Nós não sabemos como vai vir ainda, provavelmente vai vir mais para agosto, de acordo com o que tem lá. Então vamos dar uma olhada o que é isso daqui. Eu olhei muitíssimo por cima as notícias, o vídeo eu não vi ainda, é a primeira vez que eu tô vendo. Então a gente vai assistir junto isso daqui. Deixa eu arrumar o áudio para vocês. E vejamos, e vocês me falam se a... Ops, isso aqui tá errado, peraí, pronto. E vocês me falam se o áudio estiver bom, beleza? O 11.2 é a próxima season? Sim. Com o 11.2 começa a season nova. Então vamos lá, vamos aumentar isso daqui. Vamos embora. Fantasmas de Karesh. WoWCast. Achei que eles iam anunciar o WoWCast para poder ir outro dia.
Hello everyone and welcome to WoWCast. Today we're going to talk about the next major content update, Ghosts of Karesh. To help us uncover what's in store, I'm joined by two developers who helped bring Karesh to life. Please introduce yourselves.
Para quem não sabe, Karesh é o planeta natal dos eteriais, tá?
And I was also the point on this content.
First things first, what is Karesh and why now?
So Karesh isn't a new term to us. You know, way back in Burning Crusade, we first heard about them when we met the Ethereals in Netherstorm.
Dimensions
and,
destruiu o
they told
planeta
us
deles.
tales of Karesh, a beautiful arid homeworld for the Ethereals, until Dimensius the All-Devouring came and consumed their world soul. So we helped the Ethereals get revenge in Netherstorm, and we thought the matter was finished. And for the first time here in Ghosts of Karesh, we'll be stepping foot on what's remaining of that planet, this shattered, void-touched land, because we've heard that evil forces are trying to resurrect Dimensius the All-Devouring, and if that happens,
seria legal poder
Ethereals
mexer com os eteriais, viu?
and then Azeroth will be next.
Mas eu acho improvável.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too good for us. So, who's going to help us try to stop Dimensius?
You know, with a threat like this, it's all hands on deck. Within the last major content update, Illyria sort of took a step back and undermined. But she'll be here front and center with her old mentor, Locustwalker, as he brings us to his old home planet. And the eager players among us will have already gone through the content in Legacy of Aerithor,
tem umas histórias aí pra gente dar uma olhada com o show, né, atualmente.
Which gives hints to sort of the content that's coming up here in Ghosts of Karesh. In there, we learned that Venari and the brokers are interested in helping. Not only that, they've brought their entire city, Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, from the Shadowlands and placed it here right in Karesh.
Isso é interessante, eles serem transportados à cidade.
A home base. We're going to gather as much help as we can so that we can face Dimensius in the raid Manaforge Omega.
I'm excited to see Venari. I know a lot of other people are too.
Venari é bom personagem.
The raid. Can you tell us more about that, Drew?
Absolutely, there's a lot to talk about. So our raid in Ghosts of Karesh is Manaforge Omega. It's a giant facility that's been built up on the planet to harvest cosmic energy. We're going to be fighting our way in and through it to take on Shadowguard's Ethereals, who are trying to revive Dimensius. While we're in there, we'll face down with an army of Ethereals still being wrapped, the creature they're harvesting silk from, and even a mysterious council of demon hunters that have found their way onto Karesh. Oh, and of course, it's going to end with a cosmic level battle with Dimensius, who is the biggest raid boss we've ever made.
How big are we talking?
Like,
depois a gente vê isso.
Stormwind sized?
What?
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of boss mechanics in the raid?
One that I think is really cool is actually our intro. Like I mentioned, this is a giant mana intake facility, and we're actually going to come in through the pipe where they've taken the
Depois
mana.
A gente vai voltar para dar uma olhada em umas coisas, tá?
Utilize a artifact cloak we're introducing in Ghosts of Karesh, the Rashi wraps, to turn ourselves into energy and trick the filtration system.
Teremos outra capa lendária.
Is against a warden that's overlooking these pipes, and we're going to need to go in and out of energy forms to survive.
I'm excited for my druid to have another artifact. So let's break down Rashi wraps. What's the fantasy behind them?
We wanted to give the players an upgradable artifact that had a visible component for transmogs, of course, because that's the true endgame of WoW, but didn't interfere with any tier sets. So the Rashi wraps are an artifact cloak that helps us turn our bodies from corporeal into an energy form. You know, a very powerful person within the campaign helps us gather these ethereal artifacts and coalesces them into the Rashi wraps. And it turns our bodies into energy form and basically allows us to see the world through the ethereal's eyes. With this, we'll be able to interface with an outdoor activity called phase diving, which allows us to enter untethered space, which is an entirely different way to look
vai
at
ser
Karesh.
evento de matar mob pra matar
Introduces
maior
new
depois, né? Tá
creatures,
bom.
new objectives, new world quests,
Tô sabendo,
new
tô sabendo.
mechanics. And
Tô
the cool
sabendo.
thing about the Rashi wraps, it sort of interfaces with so much content across Ghosts of Karesh. You can use it in the open world, you can use it in the dungeon, you can use it in the raid, and in delves as well.
Seeing the world in the eyes of ethereal sounds really, really cool. You mentioned delves. What is the new delve coming to Ghosts of Karesh?
So we have
mais
a new delve
versão,
coming in
beleza.
Ghosts of Karesh, and this is called the
Ataque
Archival Assault. It takes place in the Azure Vaults and Dragon Isles. You might be familiar with that place,
que
but this
legal.
time it's
É uma
chock full
área
of ethereals, ethereal
de
pirates, some brokers,
Dragon
and they're
Isles.
plundering the place, and we're going to put a stop to that with our buddy Bran. You'll be able to take advantage of your Rashi wrap to unlock unique challenge gateways. They might have boss rushes or unique challenge rooms and need the cloak to access them. Additionally, we're doing a little bit of a social feature in here where you'll be able to see your friend's presence. They might be able to leave you messages. You see their ghosts running around where they died. maybe.
Como se fosse Dark
So I can
Souls.
make fun of
Isso é
my friend
bacana.
dying in a certain place.
And
Got it.
speaking of dying, let's talk about our nemesis for this season.
Okay.
You might be familiar with her. Her name is Nexus Princess Kaiveza. You have unfinished business with her in Erebar. She's got a whole
Muito
new bag
bom.
of tricks for you. She's not going to hold back this time, and it's a 1v1 scenario, so buckle up.
That's so exciting. I loved her fight in Nerebar Palace, and so I was always
Ótimo,
wondering
ótimo,
where she
ótimo,
vanished
ótimo.
off to, because you don't actually defeat her. Let's head back to the outdoor world. What can we do on Karesh?
Yeah, there's two major systems. You know, the first one is called ecological succession.
Sucessão
When we
ecológica.
met
Ah,
the
igual de
ethereals for the first time in
Netherstorm.
Netherstorm, the two things that I noticed were their energy forms and their really cool ecodomes, right? These systems that allowed them to create biomes inside that didn't match what was outside. And here, basically, you'll be helping run one. Venaria is trying to bring life back to those shredded parts of Karesh. And with that, she needs your help to fill it with animals and creatures that really thrive in the Karesh
Isso é bacana.
ecosystem.
Bonito pet, hein?
What this means is that she'll ask you to go back to previous zones, get animals, and experiment and see if they can survive in the Karesh ecosystem, and then release them to
Como se fosse uma
create a
fazenda de
thriving
Pandaria,
ecology.
talvez,
Think of it as like
maior.
a void Jurassic Park,
É,
where you're just
tá,
like trying to
faz
make
sentido.
sure that this beautiful place can thrive. The other feature I want to talk about is phase diving. I already mentioned it a little bit when I was talking about the Rashi wraps, but it's basically an overlay across all of Karesh where you get to switch to energy form and enter untethered space to access a whole
É
slew of
filtro
new
em Karesh,
content.
isso daí.
You can expect to see anything that you normally see in the outdoors, you know, treasures, rares, lore objects, all that. But there's also things that are unique specifically to phase diving. One of the features that I can talk about here is called warrants, where you're going to be helping the constable of Tazavesh hunt down notorious monsters.
I am looking forward to also building my own ecosystem. That sounds so
Legal.
cool.
Parece grilos.
Anything with animals, you got me sold. Earlier we spoke about the new raid. What else is coming to season 3?
Oh, there's a
Série
lot to
3,
talk
Season
about here.
3.
So first off, we have a new dungeon coming with Ghosts of Karesh.
Ah, é, eles falaram
It's
que ia ter uma
called
masmorra
Ecodome
nova
Aldani.
mesmo.
It's very important
Ecodome
to the
Aldani.
ethereals. It's a 3-boss dungeon. We're going to be fighting through devours
Ótimo,
invading one of
três
these
boss,
places,
maravilha.
eating some of the wildlife Steph talked about earlier. That's bad. We're also going to be fighting off a force of wastelanders that have taken over this place. We're going to fight our way through and figure out why they want this place. One more note with this dungeon is it'll be immediately available on normal, heroic, and baseline mythic with the update on Ghosts of Karesh.
I think
Isso
the
é
really cool thing
ótimo.
about Ecodome
Isso é
Aldani
ótimo.
too is
Contando
that
que não vai esperar uma semana
the
realmente.
canonical route that the storyline takes place is the campaign, the raid, and then Ecodome Aldani. And that's not a thing that we do often, you know. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how
A história vem
people
depois da
react to
raid,
this
então?
cadence.
So what are the dungeons in the dungeon pool?
Oh yeah, let's dive into that as well. Let's talk about the returning ones first. So we're going to head back to Revendreth and visit our
então o
friends,
vazamento era
the
correto.
Venthyr in the Halls of Atonement. So the next two, like Steph
Tazavesh.
mentioned, Tazavesh is coming back. So we said
duas partes.
Tazavesh should come back.
Of course.
That was a mega dungeon when it was first introduced, so we're going to break it in 2 pieces, of course. We're going to have Tazavesh
Então o
Streets of
vazamento tá
Wonder, where we're
correto.
actually fighting through the
Era
markets and
salões e
bazaars
as
and
duas
streets
partes
of
da
Tazavesh, chasing down Solia.
E a dungeon nova,
And then we'll have the
provavelmente.
second half, which is Solia's Gambit, where we're chasing through portals and eventually having our final showdown. Tazavesh will also be returning as a mega dungeon experience in Ghosts of Karesh. Starting with Season 3, you'll be able to play it in hard mode as the baseline mythic difficulty. It'll have increased challenges, hard mode mechanics, and really awesome rewards.
Eu não joguei
I'm
nenhuma
looking
delas,
forward to it.
então pra mim tá
Oh, we
bom.
also had a community vote for the last 4. What were the winners?
Yeah, it was really cool to see what players' favorite dungeons were in the War Within.
Não é dungeon favorita, é os melhores trinket.
Operation Floodgate from Season 2, going back to punch some goblins. Priory of the Sacred Flame, just awesome Hollowfall vibes throughout. And then we're going to round that out with 2 dungeons from Season 1 of The War Within, Arakara, City of Echoes.
Arakara.
Quick note for the Season 1 dungeons, we are going to take a pass, on the visuals, the combat pacing, the cast times, the number of abilities even, to make sure they're aligned with Season 2.
Eles vão nerfar o último
boss. Are there any other
aqui.
important notes for players to know about for Season 3?
Actually, not directly Season 3 related, but on the day of the update for Ghost of Karesh, you're going to have access to non-bountiful delves and all Season 3 dungeons for Heroic and Mythic.
Até que pelo menos a primeira semana não vai ser morta, então, para quem quer fazer outras coisas. Isso é bom.
Of course, Mythic Plus and the raid will open
Na
the
semana
following week,
seguinte, maravilha.
but you should have plenty to sink your teeth into on day 1. And oh yeah, one more thing. We've heard feedback for a long time now about how dungeon checkpointing works, especially in like Mythic Keystones where your timer's ticking down and whatnot. We're going to revisit our philosophy there on how long a run back is and when they unlock, and we actually want to visualize some of this in game through what we're calling waystones. So as you unlock checkpoints, you'll have an icon on your map, and you'll also have these stones that warp in and show you, if I release, this is where I'm coming back. I don't want people asking that question.
Mas ainda assim.
That is so exciting because I can't remember for the life of me every checkpoint in a dungeon, so thank you guys. And what about class sets?
Yeah, there's new set bonuses to talk about as well. And Manifold.
Depois a gente pausa pra poder ver essas coisas.
Up until now, they've been focused on your spec or your class. With this update, we're actually going to target your hero talents. So in my case, I play an Arms Warrior, I play Colossus. I'll have bonuses targeting Demolish, but also have spec hooks if I'm like a Prot Warrior versus an Arms Warrior to make sure that they're still competitive. We got you on the spec level, but we're targeting hero talents.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, and players can look forward to a lot of class updates as well. A lot of talent updates for specs such as Brewmaster Monks and Unholy
eu sabia que eles iam fazer isso.
Now, along with Season 3's PvE
Nossa, eu falei tanto nessa temporada passada isso.
There are several PvP talents that are being updated as well. And for those of us who like outdoor world PvP, there is an entire island called Vanquisher's Wake.
I'll be avoiding that.
And I'll be there.
Yeah.
Of course you would.
Before we wrap up, what are you both most excited for in this update?
For me, I'd have to say it's Dimensius. That's going to be a cosmic level encounter. There's planets blowing up. It's awesome. Huge laser beams, you name it. Additionally, I think we have a really awesome dungeon pool this season. I'm excited for players to check out Tazavesh hard mode.
I am also really excited about Dimensius, like such a glow up from the blueberry that he was before.
Yes. Baby blueberry.
But the thing that I'm most excited about, we're in The War Within, and The War Within is part of the World Soul Saga, a trilogy of expansions that, interweave their story all throughout. And so the campaign and the story within Ghost of Karesh will matter so much more to the next expansion than it has ever done before. I'm really looking forward to seeing how players go through the campaign and absorb the story.
I'm excited for everything you guys have mentioned. That's Ghost of Karesh, the void-touched major update coming to The War Within. Thank you, Steph and Drew, for hanging out with me and putting all your hard work into this update.
Super
and
animado.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in Karesh.
Super animado. Agora, antes da gente continuar, provavelmente, dando uma olhada nas coisas do Allred, deixa eu dar uma olhada em algumas coisas que eu lembrei aqui enquanto a gente estava assistindo. Primeira delas, quando eles estavam falando da raid, eles comentaram... Primeiro, o Dimensions vai ser do tamanho do Stormwind, ok? Mas eles falaram isso daqui. Dos boss, tá? Um dos boss vai ser um misterioso grupo de caçadores de demônios que deu um jeito de chegar em Karesh. Primeiro, como. Segundo, eu acho que isso daqui é a abertura para uma terceira especialização de DH. Não nessa expansão, mas em expansões futuras. Porque se não tem como você criar uma outra especialização baseado na Legião, o envolvimento dos DHs com o Void e tal, potencialmente. Void Hunter, sei lá. Não é possível? Que mais que eu tinha visto aqui? As dungeons nós falamos aqui, maravilha. Isso daqui. Eles falaram sobre revisitar a filosofia sobre checkpoint em dungeon.
Revisit our philosophy there on how long these...
Eu não sei por que eles estão ainda batendo nessa tecla. Checkpoint devia ser o seguinte: você matou o boss, o próximo checkpoint é no boss que você acabou de matar. Na área dele. Se eles quiserem fazer próximo, se for um pouco mais pra frente da posição que o pessoal tá, melhor. Mas no mínimo, matou o boss, naquele ponto lá deveria ser um novo checkpoint. Ainda assim, bacana que eles fizeram isso daqui, vai ser uma pedra que vai mostrar no mapa exatamente aonde é o próximo respawn caso você dê release, pro pessoal não ficar esperando o res e tal. E agora vamos olhar por cima aqui, provavelmente no wall res deve ter alguma coisa. Uma prévia dos conjuntos da próxima temporada. Então, DH, Mago, Rogue, Priest, provavelmente. Isso deve ser o Paladino. Guerreiro, Caçador. Esse é o Warlock. Isso é o Monge. Posso ser bem sincero? Boa parte deles não tá tão legal. Pelo menos essas colorações não. Eu tô super animado com o de Warlock. Porque tem um portal bem na cara do Warlock que fica girando. O do Guerreiro também não tá ruim, mas é bem padrão, sabe? Eu preciso ver em outros personagens. Isso daqui é uma... E por último... cadê o DH? Cadê o DK? É verdade. A mãe foi tomar uma breja. Tem toda a razão, Gabriel. Agora é o seguinte. Com essa atualização, nós vamos mirar nos talentos heróicos, os bônus de 7. Eu me pergunto se os bônus... E talvez tenha alguma coisa no Red já. Os bônus de 7, se eles vão ser focados no talento heróico que você está selecionado, ou se eles vão falar, não. Essa temporada aqui é esse talento de herói que você usa. Porque já é meio desse jeito, mas vai ser tipo escrito no set que você vai ter que usar um talento de herói específico. Então não sei.
So in my case, I play an Arms Warrior, I play Colossus. I'll have bonuses targeting Demolish, but I'll still have spec hooks.
Tá, eu acho que vai ser bônus baseado no talento de herói que você está escolhendo. Eu acredito que seja baseado no talento de herói que você escolheu. No selecionado muda de se mudar o Hero Talent. Maravilha, Vinícius. Então é isso aí. É o que eu quero mesmo.
Like a Prot Warrior versus an Arms Warrior to make sure that they're still competitive. We got you on the spec level.
Eu não achei feio do Guerreiro. Eu achei bonito, mas é bem próximo do que nós já temos com o Guerreiro.
But we're targeting hero talents.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, and players can look forward to a lot of class updates as well. You know, a lot of talent updates
e vamos lá.
Specs such...
Update para Monge Mestre Cervejeiro. Quantas vezes eu não falei pra você que tava vindo, para vocês que tava vindo isso daqui? Era certeza que eles iam fazer um rework no Brewmaster. Estranho
as
DK Profano.
Monks and Unholy Death Knights.
Vai ser só Brewmaster Monk.
Specs such as Brewmaster Monks and Unholy Death Knights.
Diz que pode ser talento novo só, mas eu acho que o Brewmaster vai receber um rework grande.
Along with Season 3's PvE content, there's also
e aí parte de PvP que eu não entendo muito.
As before. But the thing that I'm most excited about, we're in...
E as dungeons, enfim, muito, muito legal. Tô bem animado. A gente já vai dar uma olhada, mas tô super feliz com isso daqui, viu? Tô bem satisfeito com os anúncios deles. O último patch da expansão, lembrem-se, depois disso daqui, a gente já tá na linha de chegada pra poder passar pra próxima. E é isso aí.